right here. He might want to let Mosiman go by.
Here we go, here we go! Oh, down goes Craig!
I'm Aaron Plessinger.
I'm Christian Craig.
I'm Hunter Lawrence.
Josh Schmalday. I'm Cameron McAdoo.
I'm Justin Brayton.
Hey, I'm Marvin Muscan.
I'm Malcolm Stewart. I'm Dylan Ferrangis, and I choose Ojo.
And I choose Ogio.
I choose Ogio.
I choose Ojo.
This RotoMoto reaction is brought to you by Ogio. The series returned to the Evergreen State for the first time in 3 years, and while the weather was surprisingly kind and gentle for a Pacific Northwest March, Christian Craig would argue that the racing was anything but. Let's set the scene before analysis. The 250 main event started exactly as you'd expect. Craig Star Racing Yamaha feasted on the full-length start straight of the Lumen Field track layout and looked to be poised for another runaway victory for the 30-year-old veteran. But surprisingly, Michael Mosiman was able to stick right with Jagger's dad, closing the gap in the split turn leading down the rhythm before the finish line jump. Mosiman set up a textbook bull turn pass, running Craig high and taking away the exit of the turn. Unfortunately, Craig and Michael do appear to make contact at the 11th hour, sending the Yamaha rider to the dirt and leaving Mosiman to sprint away with a commanding lead. Craig immediately pops back up just behind Thrasher in 5th, making quick work of the young field, and 6 minutes later, catches and repasses Mosiman for 2nd. Christian doesn't have the pace to run down Hunter for the victory, and he and Mosiman settle for the lower steps of the podium. Craig was the first to be interviewed, and he expressed his displeasure of the move on the podium.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm sour about how that all went. I did what I did. I started out front, and yeah, Michael was a little faster in the beginning, and that's 3 times now I get cleaned out. And, man, I'm sour, but I was able to once again salvage, get up, put on a charge, and get back to 2nd. It is what it is. That's racing. It's aggressive racing, but, yeah.
Mosiman was not asked about the pass on the podium, but did give some insight into the move during the post-race press conference.
You know, I actually look back to A2 when we battled, and I raced him very, very clean. I gave him, you know, a little bit too much room. And, you know, and he knew I could have pushed the limit there. He said something like, great racing, but, you know, I know that more aggressive racing is coming. And that's really just like the general understanding. You know, obviously it's never fun to be on the other side of that, but I mean, I'm going forward. I'm going for the win, and I didn't come way, you know, hard into them. I was really right there on the entrance. I mean, it felt like racing to me.
Upon first watch of the race, I don't think anyone in the stadium or at home could argue any ill about the move. Mosiman had incredible pace. Craig looks over his shoulder down the rhythm, acknowledging that he's there, and instead of checking up to cut under, he goes with his trademark move of just trusting the power of a Star Racing Yamaha and trying to drag race around the outside of the bowl. That first angle, you could almost argue that there could have been no contact at all, but the subsequent angles show differently. The rear of Michael's bike definitely makes contact with Christian and likely set him off balance just enough to cause the crash before the finish line jump. This back wheel contact is corroborated by Michael's podium speech while he explains why his pace slowed after the pass with Craig, and he adds to the explanation during the post-race press conference.
I really think I had something for him tonight and made an aggressive move going for the championship, and ended up bending my rotor. That's what happens when you're trying to make aggressive passes, and didn't have any rear brake for the rest of the moto, and also it took me a few laps to figure out that was the issue because I, you know, blew a couple turns, and so.
I thought there was something maybe with my transmission too, but it was just the rotor was bent, and so every time it spun, it would lock up. I really got lucky that my bike stayed together.
Craig calling this a clean out on the podium is laughable at best, and putting it in the same sentence as his collision with Vince is a bold move, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt here and assume he was just speaking with hyperbole, being fueled by adrenaline after being interviewed just moments off of throwing his leg over the bike. Many took to social media to show their displeasure with Christian Craig's statement, calling it whining, and I tend to agree here. He has had an incredibly difficult career path, whether it be injuries, team issues, or some egregious on-track contact putting him out, but in 2022, everything is going his way. He has easily overcome what little adversity has come his way, and with 3 races to go, he has no one left to challenge his 250 West throne, and many of his comments this year do not reflect the maturity that we expect to see from someone his age with his level of experience. The next time we see these West Coast riders will be at the East-West Shootout in Atlanta, and it is a very highly anticipated clash between the veteran Christian Craig and the teenage phenom Jet Lawrence. Which of these two do you peg as the favorite to win the Atlanta Showdown, or do you think someone less expected will swoop in to secure a surprise victory? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to RotoMoto for more breaking news and analysis like this. If you value the content I put out, please consider joining me on Patreon. For just about $1 per week, you help me continue to make this content for you, and are also entered to win race used and autographed memorabilia from your favorite riders. This is your last chance to enter to take home Robbie Wageman jerseys for the month of March, so be sure to get in before they are gone. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.